Hello everybody, welcome back to another video on Noah's Saltwater Aquatics. So a little bit different portrait thing going on, but I figured I'd go on here. Every single video I've seen, it's been a little weird. But today's video, we're going to be focusing on how to give your saltwater fish a Epsom salt bath. So, few things you're going to need. First off, you're going to need Epsom salt, duh, but make sure that the Epsom salt is fragrance free and all that stuff. I'll put a clip in of actually what I use for my fish, and obviously my fish is still alive. But
This is what everyone wants to look for when you're looking at Epsom salt, is make sure that's fragrance free. That's the main thing. And another thing you want to look for is the USP. I don't think it necessarily matters, but make sure it's definitely fragrance free. That's super important.
alive, but I think it was Dr. Teal's fragrance free, whatever free. So make sure like that's super important because you will definitely bleh your fish if you actually put in fragrances and stuff like that. Another thing I have seen is when you bathe your fish, there's a couple different like measurements. Like some people say 1 tablespoon per 5 gallons, 1 tablespoon per gallon. So that's the other thing we're gonna cover. Um, this is all my opinion and what I did for my fish. So, use at your own risk. It seemed to be working for me. So, yeah. Anyways, so let's get into it. So, for giving your fish an Epsom salt bath, you could look up on YouTube or the internet or whatever about the exact like why you need to do it. Basically, for fish, as my knowledge goes, a Epsom salt bath could be used for like constipation in fish and a laxative. So kind of gets all that stuff moving. So basically, what I did is I took a little 2 gallon bucket. You could use a 5 gallon bucket; it doesn't matter. But I use a 2 gallon bucket and put my water from the tank, salt water, into the bucket itself, and then from there, what I did was I actually put
And I'm fairly sure everyone knows what a bucket is, but this is the bucket I used. Don't mind the lid in there, but just 2 gallon bucket. So you could use a 5 gallon, but this is what I used.
um so I saw a different couple different things. So what I ended up doing is I put 1 tablespoon of Epsom salt per 1 gallon. So I did 2 gallons. So I put two-ish um tablespoons of Epsom salt. The reason why I said ish is I poured a little bit water out of water because it was too high to the top. So I didn't do a full tablespoon the second one. So if you are wanting to do that, just make sure it's a flat tablespoon, so not scooping it up and it's over the top. Make sure it's nice and flat. Um so so you put the salt water in, and now you put the tablespoon in. I give mine a mix, give it a good mix, make sure everything's dissolved, make sure the water is clear, not foggy, murky, whatever. And so from there, I netted my fish and put the fish into the Epsom salt bath. um I've read a couple different timings, but generally from what I've seen and what I personally did is 10 minutes. No more than 10 minutes. Like max of 15, but that's really pushing it. I did 10 minutes for my fish. And I have clips of it, but just how he was acting, it made me very nervous. So I'm not even going to put him in there. But just monitor your fish, make sure he's not breathing hard or, of course, going belly up, which my fish kind of did. He kind of went sideways like this and whatever. And so you're also looking for them to poop as well as potentially regurgitate food. Now that may be an indicator of stress, so kind of be careful on that one. But yeah, so after the 10 minutes, I basically put the fish back into the aquarium, monitored it for another few minutes. My fish basically got the zoomies. He was flying all over the tank, swimming normal. But yeah, so that's basically the sum of doing a Epsom salt bath, 1 tablespoon per 1 US gallon, no more than 10 minutes. And that's pretty much it. That's what I did. It worked for me. Not saying it may work for you, but that's what I personally did. And I saw some success in what I did. So that's how you do that. But with that being said, hopefully you guys enjoyed some of the tips that I did. And, best of luck to everyone. So I hope everyone enjoyed this video. Make sure you drop a like, comment, subscribe, share, whatever you want to do. Either way, glad that you, are taking the steps to make sure your fish is nice and healthy. With that being said, I hope everyone has a good rest of your day, night, whatever time it is. See you guys in the next video.